Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you stopping by as always. I thought I'd do a little garden update in our, well, I think it's a small homestead garden here compared to a lot of people's, but it's pretty big compared to some others. So, you know what? It's our garden. So I'm going to flip this camera around and just kind of give you an update on how things are going. By the way, this is July 17th, 2026. So we're about halfway through the growing season. And yeah, so let's do the update. So first off, this is the Three Sisters garden. And I thought about doing a separate video on this. Not sure if I will or not. But this is the first time we've ever tried this. And we'll see how it goes. So we've got some beans that are growing up, and they are going up the corn stalks, which is, it's pretty cool. You know, here it is, right up in there. I don't know if there's some any higher than that, but, you know, that's what's supposed to happen. Now, we planted a couple different kinds of squash around it, and they are a little small. I added some fertilizer, and some of them seem to be responding. See, this one here is a little bigger. I think it needs more nitrogen. So, I don't know, if anybody's got any recommendations, feel free. Again, this is experimentation. We learn from mistakes, learn from experience. And again, you can see the beans growing up right there, crawling right up the corn stalks. Really cool. Definitely going to try it again next year. So our blueberries, I mentioned this before, our blueberries did not do a whole lot. We've gotten a few. This is the third year we've had them. And they just did not produce the way that, you know, they did the first year. And, you know, yeah, we'll have to see. So, got some peppers here that are doing really well. Peppers, so far for us, every year have done really, really well. So this here, we've got cucumbers all around the outside here, and they are just going nuts, as you can see. I was a little concerned that it was overcrowded, but in my experience, you know, some of that spacing, you can get away with it as long as it's got the nutrition. So this here has been a problem. We got Japanese beetles, and we've been putting some beetle traps out. Compared to down in South Carolina, the Japanese beetles aren't nearly as bad up here from what I've seen, just, you know, on this location. But anyways, as I was saying, these cucumbers doing really well so far. We got a ton of little cucumbers on there. So we got some zucchini plants. We've gotten several zucchinis off these already. This was peas, and that's really not doing well. I think that soil has been too dry, and we had a little problem with soil early on, and I ended up having to do a lot of amending with composted cow manure and some peat moss. So, and we put a lot of marigolds in the garden. I mentioned that before. It seems to help with deer. And then here, you know, one problem I had this year is I planted stuff, especially transplants, and I would go buy a 6-pack of some vegetable, and it would come with, you know, spaghetti squash. It would come with one of these. And then I would go plant it elsewhere and tell myself, yeah, you know, I'll tag that later. And then I don't, and then I forget what's in there. But anyways, this is spaghetti squash, and it's looking really good. We got some yellow squash over here, As you can see, we've gotten several out of this already. It looks like a bad one. Yeah. This one here looks like it did not get pollinated. So let me get that off. I'll chuck that in the woods. So this one's looking pretty good. We've been saving some of our weeds or different grass and stuff that we'll pull up, give it to the chickens. Here again, got some cucumbers, looking really good. And then I think that's yellow squash in there. I believe, no, is that, yeah, that's yellow squash. We got some yesterday. And then cucumbers coming up over here. I often use tomato cages to try to train the cucumbers up. Some peppers. And if you hadn't seen it, I made this little platform for the raised bed just to raise it up a little higher. Probably going to make some more of those next year. So this is pumpkin. It's coming along so far. And we have one in there. I know it looks like a watermelon, but it's pumpkin. And we had two, and my granddaughter came and apparently she grabbed it and ran off with it. So these are new strawberries that we put in, and these are unique because they have the pinkish purplish flowers rather than the typical white. There's one strawberry right there. These are ever-bearing, so we'll keep getting a few strawberries off this. This corn, yeah, we're basically growing corn stalks for the fall, which is good. Got some cucumbers over here. Again, doing really well. We got tomato cages in there. These ones are slicers. They're a little bit bigger. I like growing pickling cucumbers. National pickling or Boston pickling is typically what I'll grow. So this is another ever-bearing strawberry. It's actually, I see quite a few in there. Might see if the grandkids come over tomorrow, they can pick some of those. This is June bearing. Still giving us a little bit, but not a whole lot. Check this out. Check that out. Absolutely amazing. These plants here are doing really well. We put it on this trellis and we had to help it, but we've got this coming up the trellis. We've got numerous squash growing. It's doing really, really well. There's another one back there. So if you've not had baked spaghetti squash, it's really good. And then more peppers. Let's see, we've got some there. It's just green peppers. And over here, more squash. looking really good. So these are tomatoes. These things are getting tall, as you can see. Looking really, really good. Maine Prepper Girl, she does a lot of pruning some of the lower branches. I see she missed a couple there. And then we've got potatoes. These seem like they're getting close. We're getting some of the vegetation dying off. Did not do as many buckets as I normally do. Last year we had over 30 buckets of potatoes. And yeah, about half that this year. And then we do a lot of buckets, a variety of things. There's cucumbers. Got some onions or scallions. That's what we're hoping for. More cucumbers. Tomatoes. Got some radishes. I think I planted a lot of those seeds too deep. Yeah, too deep. So you can see one in there. This is our second round. More tomatoes over there, along with the marigolds. Another tomato plant. I think that is another spaghetti squash. Honestly, this back part of the garden probably doesn't get as much attention. This is some of the strawberries that we pulled from runners out of the other beds. There's some strawberry mint and more peppers right there. And these, I think, were planted last, and yeah, they're doing okay. So, got a little garden shed right there. We keep some supplies in, but this is our main garden. So, yeah, it's already given us quite a bit, and yeah, we'll see what happens rest of the season. We just recently had some storms, and I was pretty concerned that we were going to end up getting some damage. Oh, let me flip to something else. Got some lettuce over there. We gotten some lettuce there that we picked. We got tomatoes. There's a big sunflower that's growing there as well as there. And then we'll walk over here. I was talking about the storm. Yeah, we had a big storm come through, and I was really worried that we were gonna get hit with high winds and end up losing a lot of plants, broken plants and stuff, but it turned out okay. So I made this little bucket stand last year and used it. It's worked pretty well. As you can see, we've got squash plants. Had peas growing here, and we already took off all the peas and pulled it out. That is radish in there. Then we got pepper, tomato. Yeah, these squash plants are looking good. Sweet peppers here, some marigolds. And then I just started these carrots. And then here, I did a video on these. Got beans. Those are yellow wax beans there. Green beans. Radishes. Cucumber. I believe that's cucumber. See, I didn't mark it. I think that's cucumber. Then we got beans again, and then cucumber there as well. So, hello, ladies. Say hi. And then we have this, I call it a little island, and got a variety of things growing here. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Maine Prepper Girl has done a lot of this. She has worked so hard and has done such a great job. And there's definitely a giant zucchini in there that needs to be picked. Oh, there's another one. Then we got cucumbers right here. And we've already gotten quite a few here. And you can see there's some back there. I've never seen so many flowers. I thought about, comment below what your thoughts are. I thought about picking some of these flowers off just because I thought maybe it was too many. And I just didn't have the heart to do it. But my gut was telling me, you need to pick some of those flowers off because that plant's not going to be able to support that many cucumbers. So it's still early. So let me know what your thought is. Same thing over here. Look at all these cucumbers. And if you can't tell, cucumbers are my favorite. Look at that. That's about perfect right there perfect for me. I peel that, some salt and pepper, slice it up. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. So I've been adding some fertilizer to this one. You can see how yellow the leaves are. I think it needs some nitrogen. And this is zucchini, as well as over there. That one's looking really good. And then some peppers, and we got some onions growing around it. So anyways, that's it. Tour was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that's it. I thought I'd take you along, show you a few things. We've got a lot of plans. We're already talking about next year. Expanding the garden. I don't know what Maine Prepper Girl thinks about that. But I'd like to have like no grass. Just have nothing but garden. But anyways, that's it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Comment below any thoughts, suggestions, and hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. You guys stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies. Hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride. Planted seeds where hope was.